What is up, everybody? We are live, back again with another AceTrader 100 participant, one of the 20 celebrities, and one of the most celebrities of all the celebrities, I think. Waleswoosh himself, the man with the mask, the icon, the anonymous guy with a German accent. What's up, Waleswoosh?
Welcome. Thank you for having me. I saw your intro with Minh, and you also called him a celebrity, and I saw his reaction. So I wouldn't call myself a celebrity, but I appreciate the invite.
I mean, celebrities don't think they're celebrities. It's just I get to decide that, right? But yeah, no, we like calling them celebs because in this little corner of the universe, I think almost everybody's seen a tweet of yours. I mean, you have a real knack for virality. Why don't we start there? Give me 3 secrets for virality, because every time I look at a tweet of yours, there are 1,000 likes. Some of them aren't even good tweets, and some of them are great tweets, but there's always 1,000 likes. What's the secret?
I don't know. I know you've been like building your audience for a while as well. So I think most of it is really showing up like consistently, putting out posts. I think having like your core group of people who support you, who show up like on every post, kind of your core community. I think that's important, and I think that's something I and like a few other people did well like over the past few years, and then kind of staying up to date on what's happening on the timeline, commenting on what's going on. Maybe we'll dive into that a little bit later, but I think that's also important. Like if you look at the posts that really do well, most of it is like commentary on kind of what the timeline is talking about anyway. So yeah.
I've recently a new Twitter growth hack I've learned talks about Nakamigos, because I was at this punks event this weekend and everyone either was a punk holder or someone who only owned Nakamigos. Like the Nakamigos guys showed up because they think like religiously that Matt and John, the founders of CryptoPunks, also founded Nakamigos. So they go to all these events thinking there might be the big announcement. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I think the Nakamigos community and the project as a whole is interesting. I remember when there was like this people stuff going on, so I think he still puts them in his pictures from time to time. So they have an interesting lore.
Well, it's one of those things where you just want to keep it going because it's so fun to just perpetuate. Yes. And it's like you have all this power. You have people who believe you. So if you like say something about Nakamigos, that like it gets analyzed. And when we, most men in general, when men talk, they want people to analyze what they say. And women too, but I think like a lot of talking heads, it's like you're kind of in the game of having people analyze what you say. So you got the Nakamigos, they analyze what you say. So guys like people like Benny, Benny Redbeard, these guys just keep it going.
Yeah.
But anyways. Sorry. Let's go.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, finish what you're saying.
Yeah, that's like one of the fun parts of NFTs. I think like you have the kind of this group of believers and who are like really into your project. I think for Nakamigos it's especially strong, but you see it in a lot of other communities as well. So they are really into the lore and really into. When you give them a hint, they will jump on it.
I think I might do the thing that you and I both know is the fastest way to lose money. Which is buy an NFT. I might actually buy an Nakamigo just for the vibes. We'll see. Do you own any?
Nakamigos? No, I don't own any.
Okay. All right. Well, enough talk about Nakamigos. The reason we're here is AceTrader 100. This is a tournament to see basically who can trade best, and whoever trades the best is going to get $1 million principal that Memeland is going to give you off the balance sheet that you will get to trade, and you will be able to keep 80 to 90% of the profits of that. So this is a tournament to see who's going to get $1 million book to trade. What do you think of that? Why don't you tell me what your overall style is as a trader?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting tournament. I'm excited to be a part of it. I looked at the other participants, like in the what do you call it? The celebrity trainee? Is that like the official name?
Yeah, the Uber celebrities.
Okay. And I looked at some of the other celebrities, and I know, as I said, I know you've been on. I think he's great. Like a few really great traders. So I'm not sure how I will end up or where I will end up on the leaderboard. But I'm excited to be a part of it. When it comes to how I trade, so as we talked about like before we started the recording, I spend a lot of time on CT. So I try to get like my clues and my trade ideas primarily from CT. Like when I see something maybe early that starts to pop up, paying some attention to that, trying to understand why people are talking about it, and then at the same time getting out in time, right? I think CT is great for that as well, because you have some of the more famous top signals like Clemente dancing, or
Yes.
some people would say, when I feel the urge to post a screenshot of something, you have these top signals that you really have on CT. So when the traders become more consensus, or everyone thinks this is going to trillions, getting out in time, I think CT is great for that. So I get a lot of like the stuff that I buy, and when I decide to sell, a lot of that I get from the timeline, from people I follow, from CT in general. I think CT, as crowded as it was, especially during InfoFi, is still a good place to get like some, I don't want to say alpha, but like some ideas for trades on early, but also understand like when to exit.
So okay, so you get your exit ideas basically from looking at who's bullish, and if you see people being bullish enough, that's when you decide to exit. Is that what I'm kind of subtly hearing you say?
Yeah, so I was talking about Clemente half joking. So it's not really like from specific people who post that they're in a trade or that they're bullish. It's more like the general sentiment. Like like when you've been on CT for a while as well, when the whole timeline is talking about it and everyone thinks it's going higher and higher. Sometimes it does, but usually then when it's really consensus at some point, it's reversing. So yeah, not really like from specific people. Like I think Clement is great. I love what he's doing. But yeah, when it's becoming too consensus, like on CT, then a lot of times it's a good time to get out.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard thing, right? Because this is a momentum-based industry, right? Most of the stuff we trade goes to zero, and the key is to be there when it's going up. You don't really want to be a value trader with this stuff, but at the same time, your window to get out is pretty limited. So you have to like kind of spot that euphoria. How do you think about that difference? Like when is positive momentum versus euphoria time to get out?
Yeah. So when I really learned this was with NFTs, like back in the day. I came in with like not a lot of money, started to trade NFTs, saw them going up and up and up, and I was like really a believer back then that it will go up forever. Like I thought we'll see, Bored Apes at $1 million, $2 million floor, everyone will buy it. I didn't really see a scenario where it cools down again. Of course, then in mid 2022, I learned a lot in that regard. I understood, okay, like when everyone is bull posting and everyone thinks it will go higher, it can go higher for a long time. Like if you look at the run that some of the top NFT collections had, it was a long time, especially compared to what we then saw later with meme coins or in other areas. Mm-hmm. But at some point it ends, and it's hard to time the top. It's hard to get out in time. It's hard to know when like the euphoria that you mentioned goes away. That actually hurt me then with meme coins in 2025, and yeah, I think primarily 2025, because I had like all these experience from NFTs, and I thought, okay, everyone is bull posting. I know it's probably going higher, but at some point the music will stop. And I had PTSD from back holding NFTs, like from the euphoria all the way down. So I think that hurt me with meme coins. I think now, with meme coins, I got in, but I got out way too early because I thought, okay, the music will stop sometime, but I underestimated the time that the music can actually continue to play. So yeah, I agree. It's hard to, and I still have problems with it, to time like, okay, when is this euphoria and will continue to go higher, and when is the moment when it's time to get out? I still struggle with that sometimes.
And what do you think about Bitcoin and the overall crypto market right here? I mean, it's been massive laggard relative to what's been a pretty strong risk market for most risky assets. Do you think we're like a coiled spring just waiting to explode, or do you think there's like a breakdown in the chart and kind of the sentiment overall?
Yeah, it's interesting, especially when you look at kind of Bitcoin or ETH compared to not USD but silver or gold price. So in general, I tend to be like more of a bullish person. So I would like to think that at some point we explode and we kind of correct the big difference that Bitcoin now has like to gold, for example. At the same time, most people and most traders I respect these days, they're all very bearish. So the more I talk to them, the more bearish I get. I guess they're turning a little bit more bullish again, but especially late last year, they were really bearish. So yeah, I don't know. I still think I don't see a reason why Bitcoin. So there's Bitcoin for me, and then there's other cryptocurrencies. I don't see a reason why Bitcoin, if the market risk assets continue to be bullish, and especially as I said, like adjusted for the big increase that we saw in gold and silver. I don't see a reason why we don't see like at least a short rally again in Bitcoin. But I don't know. It's tough to say. Like the last 6 to 12 months of price action has been really tough for Bitcoin. I don't know.
It's been brutal. I mean, I think the thing that's hard about it is that the reason people are in here is because they want to be around when the dollar basically loses its value. And right now the dollar is losing its value to stocks. It's losing its value to gold. It's losing its value to silver. I think bond yields are staying pretty stubbornly high. And I think there's a sentiment, okay, this is the reason I'm in crypto, and crypto's not moving. And I think that it's almost like the ultimate pain, because you feel like this is the market you're supposed to be winning in.
I agree. And at the same time, I think a lot of people are in crypto to, of course, to be here for when the dollar loses value, but also as it always felt like a fast track for risk asset, right? When the market is bullish and you're holding risk assets, it's potentially a quick way to change your life. And now you're looking at the return, and it's been like more profitable holding gold or silver. So I guess that's what turns a lot of people away from crypto. It's, at least for the last few months, it hasn't been this okay, you can change your life here by holding high risk, high reward assets. I think that's probably the problem. Also why CT feels so boring, intense at times, I think, because there's just way different expectations on what you can achieve here. Now you look at everything else doing well, and it feels you're holding an asset that is high risk, but there's no return.
Well, okay, I see you as probably one of the most foremost thinkers on NFTs, and I think you kind of became a pretty strong thinker on meme coins as well. What do you think are the 3 things a project needs in order to do well? Like if you're looking at a project, a meme coin or an NFT, and you're like, or just any crypto project, let's broaden it out here. I think people often miss what actually drives price. And I feel like you kind of look below the surface. What do you think are the 3 most important things for a crypto asset to do well?
I'll focus on NFTs because I don't think like I'm a meme coin pro. I looked at the top celebrity trendy. I think there are better people to talk about meme coins there. But when it comes to NFTs,
I'm not talking to them, Will. I'm talking to you. I want your opinion.
Yeah, when it comes to NFTs, I'll call it NFTs. Yeah. I think what's definitely important, especially now, is like having a really good presence on the timeline, social presence on the timeline. I think the problem that NFTs had for a long time, and I guess it's part of the narrative shifting away from NFTs as a whole to meme coins or social fi or whatever, is that you kind of lose the dominance on CT. And I think that's important for all crypto projects, but especially for NFTs. Then I guess it's kind of a subset of being relevant on the timeline. I think having strong founders and strong team members, of course, they have to be smart when it comes to strategy and everything, but also presence on the timeline, kind of being a leader for their project. I think that's important. If you look at the top NFT project that survived since like the hype days of 2021 and 2022, those were the ones who had like some leaders who had presence or still have presence on the timeline. So I think that's important. And then the speculation part, right? I think part of the reason why a lot of what we used to call like blue chip projects lost so much of their value is because the speculation part is kind of like there's no new NFT collection that can be airdropped. There's no token that can be airdropped. Most of that is already done, and then the projects have to survive just based on whatever you want to call it, brand value or community commitment. And then it's tough. Like I think NFTs, as much as they're good assets to build a community, I still think there are to a certain part or to a certain percentage speculative assets. So when you take all the potential airdrops, all the potential value increase away, then it's tough to survive. Not as a project, like projects can still do well, but when you look at floor price and when you look at the financial side of it, then it's tough to survive. So I still think speculation and keeping that speculation for as long as possible is important.
I used to say that anticipation is the oxygen of NFTs. You just need something to anticipate, and because they're never worth anything with the present. It's just about the future. Obviously some are, and we're trying to make our NFTs worth a lot. And I think that some just have brand value. Like if obviously CryptoPunks and Chromie Squiggles are just pure collectibles. And to me, I still love the collectible use case. Like I'm a collector of NFTs. Like I have 3 CryptoPunks, and I've got them all stored in different places, and I've got basically I couldn't even get them out if I wanted to. They're intended to go to my kids. I got 3 kids and 3 punks, and sometimes I want more just because I like collecting. But I think it's rare that you get something that has that dynamic.
Yeah, I think out of all the NFT collection that we have, there are very, very few that I would say could survive just because people like to collect them. CryptoPunks, of course, are one. I'm sure there are like collectors of certainly of NFT art. Then I think of the other big collections. You also have passionate collectors, but it's a very small number, and especially new projects probably won't ever reach that level because there's a historic relevance to punks, of course, but also Bored Apes or Pudgy Penguins that a new collection will probably never reach.
I mean, Chromie Squiggles. Like the one thing that's cool is that the biggest projects were all mistakes or accidents. They couldn't even give away the CryptoPunks that they wanted to. It took a week to give them all away. Chromie Squiggles was one of the first art blocks projects, and basically people were just like minting them to see if they got something rare and then moving on. Like it was just none of these things were intentional. And I think when you try to intentionally make a collectible, it feels manufactured. It's harder to do.
Yep.
So who do you want? Going back to the tournament, who do you think? Who are some good traders out there? Like who do you think could win this tournament? That's the first question. Who do you think are just like bar none the best traders out there?
That's a difficult question. So I'm a fan of Minh. Like I followed him for a long time. We've been friends for a long time. What I admire about him is his ability to crush it like in so many different areas. Like I know a lot of people who are good NFT traders. I know a lot of people who are good meme coin traders. I know a lot of people who are good perps traders, but very few are kind of good in all these parts, right? I know a lot of people who made a lot of money in NFTs, but didn't make like any money in meme coins. And Minh really crushed it with NFTs. He really, really crushed it with meme coins. And then he had all these big trades with perps. I don't know if I'm pretty sure you talked with him about his ETH trade, which was a big one. So I think he will be a very interesting competitor here. Let me look at the list. Legendary, of course, I'm a fan of him and the way he navigated all these different narratives in a very smart and consistent way. And I think his overall knowledge of crypto is really, really good. So I think Legendary will be good. Mando, Easy. I know they are great traders. Kaleo, Keyboard Monkey. So a lot of good ones here. I look at the list, and the more I look at the list, the more I see they will be difficult to place up high. But if I had to name one, it would be Minh because of the way he navigated all these different areas in a really successful way.
I just live tweeted that. That call. I liked it because sometimes I forget to tweet after I like have these sound bites I want to put out there. Good call. And if you win, what will it be that made you win? Like, what insight do you have? What's your alpha? If we're sitting here, waleswoosh, here's $1 million of Meme Land's money from us to you. Help us make money. Why does Meme Land want to do it? The reason we want to do it is because we want to find good traders, because we have a big balance sheet of money that we've made over the years, and we want people to help us grow that balance sheet, and they're probably better than I am at trading. So we're trying to find those people. And if it's you, what will it be that made you win?
I think what will make me win is I will try to catch a big move in one of the majors. I talked about Min's trade with Ethereum, which I followed, and which I participated in, not to the extent that Min did, but I catch that as well. So I will try to do that, and I will hope for either bullish or bearish. I hope it's going to be a bullish move, maybe Bitcoin catching up, as we talked about earlier, to the increasing risk assets or to the value of the US dollar against gold or silver. So I will try to catch one of these with leverage, and maybe that's enough to at least make it to the next round.
Awesome. So, all right, I'm just going to put this out there. This guy Space says, "Oh, you talked to Mr. Undisclosed Trovad." Yeah, no thanks. As someone with an audience, you're always going to get hate. There are always going to be haters. They're going to make it like you did stuff intentionally or that you're deceiving people. What's your view on that? As someone who's got all the spotlight on you, who's kind of the business you've created is around your platform. What do you have to say to the haters?
Yeah. So to comment on Trove, of course, that was a mistake for which I apologized. I didn't see the whole Trove story coming the way it did. I don't know how much you followed it, but
I didn't even follow it. I just saw the troll. Yeah.
So that was a long story, but there was valid criticism, and as I said, I apologize for it. When it comes to general haters, you always have, and I think a lot of it is jealousy. A lot of it is people, not sometimes jealousy, sometimes it's just getting some views, some likes on the timeline. It's always participating in campaigns. It's always like a good way to get that. And I get it. I know how CT works. I know what people engage with. So, and I can say I don't think I ever did it with people, but I certainly did it with projects in the past when there were like big controversies. I commented on that. So I do get that. But yeah, it's part of the game. Especially when you build an audience, you enjoy a lot of benefits that come from that. So you also have to live with the other side of that, and I'm ready for that. So
I feel that. Yeah. I mean, look, you can't get, I kind of think the bet, like guys like you who've built your account to be big have done it on the back of being authentic, and that's why advertisers want to work with you. That's why other people want to work with you, because you're an authentic guy. You stay where you stand. Do we all make mistakes? I mean, of course we all make mistakes. That's kind of the nature of trying on this new business and this new lifestyle. And you learn as you go, but I feel like your heart's always in the right place. And, I think that's why you've established a following and a trusted following, but that's just my perception as someone who's kind of on the timeline.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I think for a lot of people who are now considered like CT influencers, it's usually a lot of times the first time that they had like an audience, and the first time that they had like clout on social media. So my view, like always the same when this ICOB stuff happened, or when like people make like comments on timeline that they later delete or regret. I always tend to have like compassion, because I treat like a lot of things that I wouldn't treat again. So always tend to have compassion like when other people do the same. So yeah.
For sure. Cool. All right. Well, back to the good stuff. We got waleswoosh here, one of our 20 celebrities. Yeah, I think he could be a quiet runner. I think you got a chance. I think you kind of hide your alpha a little bit, I feel like you got some secrets. Sometimes it comes out a little bit in your posts, but that's just my take here. I wouldn't be surprised if you do better than people think here, better than you think in particular, because you seem like your own biggest critic. I'm wishing you luck though. people can find you on Twitter. Is your whole life on Twitter? Or do you have another, I mean, your whole online following life, or do you have other places people can follow you?
Right now, I think it's mainly Twitter. So I had a newsletter in the past. I didn't really show much consistency there. I'm not on Instagram. I know there's a whale Instagram or a whale account on Instagram, but it's not me. I think it has 50K followers, but it's not me. It's some fake account. So mainly CT at waleswoosh.
All right, sounds good. waleswoosh on X. Everyone follow him. If you're not already doing it, you probably already are. And we'll see him in the AceTrader 100. Thanks for coming on.
Let's go. Thank you so much.